Shalom, Brother Kabah, back in our GMS lesson. GMS keep pushing. Before I go any further, I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, for teaching us His truth according to the Bible and rule well. I know Shalom to all the sincere Akims, for the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth through diligence and sincerity and in charity. And another Shalom to all the sincere followers, believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, not just hearers of the word, but doers as well. You men, women, and children, the hopeful elect, Shalom. And, this lesson is going to be on, you so-called Puerto Ricans, all right, you Latinos are Israelites, and you went into slavery as well. Matter of fact, you went into slavery before the so-called Negroes, the Southern Kingdom, man. You went into slavery first, all right? And I was trying to find this video that I seen back here some time ago, where this Ephraimite and this Judite women had got into a fight. It was like a fist fight, and the Ephraimite, after the fight was over, the Ephraimite said, "That's why your people went into slavery." And I tried my best to find that video, man. I couldn't find it, but if I do, I'll Lord's will, I'll do a part 2 if I come across it again. But that information, that history, a lot of that has been hidden away from our people. All right, because contrary to popular belief, you Latinos, you're not white, and you served slavery up under the so-called white man, just like the so-called Negro did. Okay, the conquistadors. All right, and we're gonna play this video right here. We're gonna grab some precepts and wrap it on up, man. And Lord willing, is edifying.
However, the colonization of Puerto Rico was a major turning point in their lifestyle. Columbus first arrived in the West Indies. He was amazed to encounter the Taínos. He described them in his journal as of short stature, with long, lustrous black hair, tan skin, and healthy, robust bodies. He called them Indians, believing them to be natives of India.
And they're not natives of India. All right, we are natives of Jerusalem, Israel. All right, tell you that in Galatians. Matter of fact, let's get that real fast. The book of Galatians. Matter of fact, hold on. Get it right now. Because a lot of our people think, especially Northern Kingdom, they think that Spain is the homeland. All right, and Spain is not the homeland. Jerusalem is the homeland, and that's in Galatians. I think it's the 4th chapter. I read 16. Galatians 4:16. I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. All right. And a lot of our people don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear that they're from Jerusalem, from Israel. They don't want to believe that the motherland, that's it. They want to claim to, Spain and or the Southern Kingdom, Africa, which is all BS. Galatians 4:26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. All right. So Jerusalem is the homeland. Okay, and when you go into that word Indian, it goes back to savage, because that's what they call this. They call it savages, man. When they're the true savages, and this clip's going to show it.
These were the first people to feel the devastating effects of this New World encounter. In 1508, the Spanish would eventually set up the second colony of the Americas, which they named San Juan Bautista, known today as Puerto Rico. Seeing the Spaniards, the natives fell in awe, believing they were gods from the sky, and granted them with many gifts. So at first, the relationship between the two was fairly good. Spanish conquistadors, on the other hand, saw the natives as primitive. In their view, Taínos' humble nature made them natural servants.
Their humbleness made them natural servants. What? Good slaves. That's what they told the queen. These people will make good slaves. Right? Now, look at this still frame of this picture. These are Ephraimites, Taínos, Arawaks, going into slavery, man. All right? This is Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, which are the prophets, because that's how the Lord speaks, Luke 1:68 on down. All right, it says to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, real fast, let's get the definition of curse. All right, it says a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. And isn't slavery inflicting harm and punishment? This was part of our punishment, man. Not just Judah, Benjamin, Levi, but all 12 tribes: Gad, Reuben, Issachar, all right, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Asher, Zebulon. Okay. Jumping down to verse 45 says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and pursue thee and overtake thee till thou beest destroyed. All right. And we are destroyed because we don't know we know who we are now, the elect. But overall, our people don't know who they are. That's Jeremiah 17 and matter of fact, let me get that real fast. Jeremiah, I know it's in the 17th chapter. This is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. You see? That land's talking about Ashtoreth. All right? Which is talking about America. It's talking about America, right here in America. And that's how we got over here, man. That's how the Northern Kingdom got over here, man. Let me finish this out real fast. It says, Deuteronomy 28:45, because thou hearkenest not to the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he command thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. See, these curses are upon the children of Israel, man. The so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans go through everything the so-called black man goes through. Everything. Now, Judah gets the worst because he's the head tribe. So it's seen more upon him. But what? We all go through it, man. We all go through it. So, reading, we're going to play more of the clip. It says, and thou even thyself, Jeremiah 17:4, shall discontinue from thy heritage, Israelites, right? Because Latinos, let's say, oh, I'm Spanish. Spanish is a language. It's a language. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And the Lord's rejecting our people. That's cold, man, coming in this world and going out not knowing who you were. That's cold, man. It says, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies, right? These Spaniards, these conquistadors, okay? Which are AKA so-called white men, AKA Esau, Edom, the devil. It says, in the land which thou knewest not. What land did we not know? America. And we came over here so that we could keep the laws, and we didn't even do it. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in his anger, which shall burn forever. This is 2 Ezra 13:40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea, the king of Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. He carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took his counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. This is the northern kingdom, all 10 tribes. All right, it says Ephraim on down to Issachar. It says that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own lands while the Lord kicked us out, And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the floods till they were passed over. For through the country there was a great way to go, namely 1.5 years, and the same region is called Asterisk, all right, which is America. So it took about 1.5 years to get over here, man. And when we get over here, we still didn't keep the laws of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's why this happened.
Written to the Queen by Columbus. Eventually, the thirst for gold and their duty to evangelize damaged the relationship between the two. The relations deteriorated as new settlers began to arrive and implemented the encomienda system. The royal decree of 1503 ordered Indians to convert to Christianity, work in the mines and fields. Relations deteriorated as new settlers began to arrive and implemented the encomienda system. The royal decree of 1503.
The royal decree, right? What's a decree? It's a law, right? So let's get a precept. Look, all in the name of Christianity, right? All in the name of Christianity, which lets you know that what? That Christianity won't force. It wasn't forced. All right, let's get Salakia. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe unto them," which means destruction, "that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." All right, and that's what Esau Edom has done ever since he's came into power. Just passed unrighteous laws and decrees. All right, which was grievous unto who? The Israelites. To turn aside the needy from judgment, to take away the right from the poor of my people, that the widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what this man has done, and he's still doing it.
3 ordered Indians to convert to Christianity, work in the mines and fields.
He ordered it for us to convert to Christianity. And you Jake are still up in that madness, man. Up until this very day, and look, it was forced upon. Just like now, they're forcing, their science on you. Okay, let's just say that. That's becoming an idol now. But the scriptures tell us in Sirach, the 12th chapter, never trust thy enemy.
According to the decree, every cacique had to acquire a number of Indians that they shall appoint to work and pay a salary. Under this system, a landowner would have one tribe under his command, and the cacique would oversee the labor. The natives were taught the Spanish language and evangelized.
Well, you can't just speed past that, man. You can't just go past that, all right? They were what? Let's see here.
Salary. Under this system, a landowner would have one tribe under his command, and the cacique would oversee the labor. The natives were taught the Spanish language. All right? So what were you before that? What were you before that, right? Going back to Jeremiah 17:4. Going back to Jeremiah 17:4. "And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee." That who gave us? The Most High Yahweh. Matter of fact, I'm going to finish this out, and I got something I want to bring up. It says, "That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever." All right. Which is a time period. Okay. I was looking this up because, and this is from blackinamerica.com. It's talking about the Taino and Arawaks. All right. It says the word Boricuen is the name given by Taino Arawak Indians from the native mass land of Puerto Rico.
It says, translated from Spanish, the land of the mighty Lord. All right. It says the Arawak Indians spoke a broken version of Paleo Hebrew. Just like when Judah came over, when you watch Roots, what was they beating out of LeVar Burton? They wasn't beating African language. It was beating the Hebrew Israelite out of him, man. But they're not going to tell you that. All right? Esau's not going to say that. Okay? It says the Arawak Indians spoke a broken version of Paleo Hebrew and referred to Yahweh, and they got it spelled right here. All right, and quotate in parentheses, Most High as Yahya for short, and Gad said the same thing. Reuben said the same. They called him Yahya. All right, which lets you know they knew the names of the Heavenly Father, man. Yahweh. Let's see here. Hey, that's pretty much it. But going to my point that you Latinos, you're not Spanish. You were taught Spanish. You can't be taught, a language and then say that's your nationality. All right, Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. But since thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
The Spanish language and evangelized. The once powerful cacique was stripped of their political position since the encomenderos now exerted absolute control over the Taino tribes. Entire families were torn apart as a result.
Entire families were torn apart. That's in the curses as well.
Position since the encomenderos now exerted absolute control over the Taino tribes. Entire
families. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 32. It says, I'm starting at 30. It says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. All right. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. All right. And that's even happening up until this very day. But it happened back then, man. All right. These curses are still upon us, man. It says, verse 32, it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. Why there shall be no might in thy hand? Because this is the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And who has resisted the will of the Lord? No one. No one. All right. So for you Latinos and you so-called Spanish, all right, say that you never served slavery. Hey, look, man, we're reading about it and we're seeing it through this clip here, man.
Families were torn apart as a result. With this new system, the Tainos had to abandon their way of life forever. In addition, the encomienda system set the stage for continued exploitation and mistreatment of the Tainos. The
mistreatment, right? Look at that, being whipped. But you want to sit here and laugh and joke and giggle about, Judah getting tore down. That's your brother, right? That's your brother. 12 tribes, man. And the Northern Kingdom went through it too, man.
The Spaniards worked the Tainos tediously, leaving few to harvest their own food, causing starvation and...
Deuteronomy 28, 48, therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, not your friends, not your pals, compadres, no, your enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation, and that's what's happened. All 12 tribes. All right, it says verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift the eagle flieth. And look, who's what you want to say mascot? All right, is the eagle, is America. All right, it says a nation whose tongue thou shall not understand. And prior to these devils coming to the Americas, right? Asterisk, that what? We wasn't speaking no Spanish. We didn't know no Spanish, right? As we saw in the video clip earlier, it was taught to you. It was beaten into you, actually. All right. It says, verse 50. Matter of fact, and as we brought up in the blackamerica.com, that the Arawak and Taínos spoke a broken version of the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Quadash. All right. So it reads on Deuteronomy 28 and 50. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young. And that's what this devil did, man. And you Latinos, you Spanish, so-called Spanish Israelites went through it too.
Famine. Their wages were minimal, and many were worked to death. In many other cases, women were raped and mistreated. As a result, many of the natives preferred to commit suicide instead of dealing with this harsh way of life.
Wow,
they
were raped, right? You see, isn't that what happened to Judah, Benjamin, the so-called West Indians, Levi, the so-called Haitian? Isn't that what happened to them too? All right.
Bartolomé de las Casas dedicated his life to defend the Indians. In Brevísima Relación, de las Casas describes the Spanish colonists as gold seekers and warlike conquerors. The reason for killing and destroying such an infinite number of souls is that the Christians have an ultimate aim, which is...
See, look, and these were Christians. You gotta put that in mind. These conquistadors, right? They were coming in the name of Christianity. And you wondering why you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, are in the religion of Christianity, because it was beaten into you, man. It was beaten into you. Let's get a quick precept. Let's go to because they were gold hungry too, right? This is St. John 10 and 10. It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. And that's what this devil has done to all 12 tribes. Every tribe got their story, man, which all goes back to these curses. In some way or form or fashion, all 12 tribes has went through this. All right? All 12 tribes have went through this, man. And that's what Esau Edom has done. Stole nationality, stole lands, stole the resources. All right? All in the name of what? Christianity. It says their reason for killing and destroying such as an infinite number of souls is that the Christians have an ultimate aim, which is to acquire gold and to swell themselves with riches. Let me get another precept. Let me finish this out. I am coming that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. That's Yahweh Shai. Let me see here. Let me see here. Let me see. Slack. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Look something up. Slacking. Let's see here. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 6. Shall not these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increase of that which is not his? How long And to him that laid himself with thick clay. All right, that thick clay is talking about his debt. But in America is in major debt. But the reason why I brought this precept out was, woe to him that increase of that which is not his. This was not his, man. And the reason for the death of you so-called Puerto Ricans, Cubanos, Dominicanos, was for this man to get rich. For this man to get rich. And the same thing that happened to Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the so-called black so-called Negroes, happened to you as well. Okay?
To acquire gold and to swell themselves with riches. He's dedicated his entire life to the protection of the natives after seeing the brutality committed towards them. This genocide and abuse of the Taino marked a turning point in their way of life by sparking an attempted revolt against the Spaniards. In 1511, the Taino joined forces under the cacique Agüeybaná II against the Spanish people and their property. Governor Juan Ponce de León counterattacked and offered to pardon those who gave up their weapons. Those who refused to comply were ordered to be killed without mercy. 2 caciques agreed to the truce. In the second battle in Oaxaca, the natives lost, and in the Battle of Jacueca, the Spanish put an end to the Taino rebellion. The remaining survivors fled to the mountainous regions, where they continued with sporadic attacks. These attempts, although powerful, were no match for the superior technology of the Spaniards. If not by exploitation, they would die of disease. The Tainos were vulnerable to Old World diseases since they did not have immunity to them. Throughout the island, illnesses spread rapidly, such as smallpox, chickenpox, and measles, killing thousands of native population.
And that's in the scriptures. This is Deuteronomy once again, 28. And I started 58. It says, if thou wilt not observe and do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and long countenance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. You see, these are the curses that will befall the Israelites, not Puerto Ricans. All right, not Mexicans, but the Israelites, all 12 tribes, man.
As populations dwindled by 30 years after the encounter, more than a third of all Tainos had perished. According to historian Francisco Moscoso, the natives at the time of Columbus's arrival amounted to about 110,000. Other historians now estimate many more.
Realmente, por lo que yo he podido estudiar, un impacto grande en los nativos. Se estima que cuando llegaron los españoles a América habían sobre...
You know, that's pretty much it on this lesson. All right. So the point is, you know, you Latinos serve slavery too, man. You know, it's just history that was, you know, that's hidden. All you gotta do is just look, man. And you're Israelites. All right. So you Latinos. All right. You so-called Spanish. All right. Wake the hell up, because you're Israelites, and return back to the Heavenly Father while you still have time, because the Lord's not coming back to save Spanish people, man. So Lord, that's edifying. Till next time I say shalom.